Hey friends, Gene Valentino. We just wrapped up another episode of Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast. And our partner in crime on these wonderful episodes is a guy by the name of Mike Lindell. He's head of the family of My Pillow products. And we're talking today about My Coffee. What a great refreshment after a long episode on the podcasts. The My Coffee, in this case, Maureen and I get the 100% Arabica. It's certified organic, non-GMO. We can get the light roast, the medium roast, or the heavy roast, dark roast. We get it in the beans, and then we grind it ourselves. But the most important thing to remember, you got to use the promo code GeneV, please. And that's on the My Pillow site. Go there, put your order in, or you can call it in, and they'll ship, of course, direct to you. No charge. Thanks.
It is now 7:16, 16 minutes after 7 o'clock, the time of the week that we love, because we got a good buddy, Gene Valentino, in studio with us, Michael.
Hey, yeah, good morning, and Gene is with us via Zoom, and so I'm looking at him. He looks great. It looks like he's ready for Christmas. Good morning.
Well, I just can't wait to exchange those presents. I'll tell you. You know, our children are awaiting Christmas, right?
Yeah.
It's like awaiting for election returns. It's
yeah.
always Aunt Frances and Uncle Freddie that are the latecomers. The kids are wondering what they're going to bring. They're the latecomers to the Christmas dinner and the next day thing, and the kids are scratching their heads saying, is this a present I'm ready to wait for?
That's right. That's right. So, I'll tell you, you'd think normally around Christmas time that things, will slow down politically, but not in today's age. We have all kind of stuff going on, right up to Christmas. I'm sure, I guess Christmas Day, we'll be hearing about something. But, yesterday I saw where Rudy Giuliani had to file for bankruptcy. What a shame that he's a list on the list of a long list of people who have been targeted by the government and others to basically, he's on the list, right? He's on the list of a Trump appointee or a Trump friend or a Trump ally. And so they're trying to do everything they can to get everybody that surrounds Trump and put them in jail or put them out of commission by making them go bankrupt. I mean, this is horrible what's going on in this country, that they're using the justice system to do these kind of things to people. And I'm, while I'm hopeful and I'm joyful because it's Christmas time and I understand what Christmas means, I'm sad at the same, because this is the downfall of a country.
It's a downfall of the country if we let it, Michael.
True.
We were being tongue-in-cheek with a little frivolity on the holiday season, as we should be. We need more of that. We need more expressions of gifting and giving, and this is that time of year where we all need to do that. So I was ready to take all my notes and throw them out the window this morning because, I sensed you and Ted were in the spirit of the holiday, but, it sits against a backdrop of terrible conflict over in Ukraine, which is now overshadowed by conflict in Israel, which is now shadowed by what you just mentioned with Rudy Giuliani and the issues here at home. Boy, I'm tongue-tied this morning. Another coffee.
Giuliani.
I'm Italian. I know that. Crying out loud.
I have to tell Ted this about Alzheimer's all the time. He calls it Alzheimer's. Like it's alts, like it's got a Z in it.
No, it's all timers.
That's right. Old timers.
I'm ready to cut up. I'm just not willing to get all intense this morning. But since you brought it up, there is a whole narrative I put together. It goes back to the missing evidence from January 6th, 2021, the Capitol uprising.
Right.
It's now proven to be puzzling at best and a criminal conspiracy at worst, and I fear the worst. Keep your eye on Congressman Jamie Raskin. The study further what he did with the Capitol Police after a Capitol Police officer to steer the January 6th narrative and a resulting incarceration of many of these innocent Americans that still remain behind bars. What a tragedy, Michael. You know, the January 6th conspiracy and the uprising that Trump was accused of creating an insurrection for in just a few days, but it was not a Trump insurrection. The crowd had no guns. There was no plan to overthrow the government. Moreover, Trump was not leading any attempt to do so. He was miles away asking the citizens to protest peacefully. We all saw that on the news. The White House at the time issued a public statement calling for calm. Kash Patel and some of Trump's assistants were leading that charge. So why was the fake news saying Trump led an insurrection? Why did the Colorado Supreme Court rule that Trump led an insurrection recently and mandated that his name be removed from the Colorado ballot? He was never charged or convicted with any insurrection, but we still cannot get our hands on the January 6th House Investigation Committee's hearings and records. Why?
Yeah. Because why? Because they don't want you to see it. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why.
Of course that's why.
The Colorado Supreme Court has done, what they've done is unconstitutional. Again, Trump was not charged or convicted of insurrection under the 14th Amendment. Trump will win in 2024, and they just handed it to him on a silver platter. Merry Christmas. Yeah, this requires a Supreme Court of the United States now to overturn the stupidity of 4 Democrat-appointed justices at the Colorado Supreme Court. These guys have really impacted the legitimacy of our Constitution and now require the Supreme Court to step in. This was all based on Article 3 of the 14th Amendment, which was written in 1868 to keep Confederate officials from holding offices. This is a totally desperate last-ditch move to eliminate Donald Trump at the 11th hour. And they're going to fail, Michael. And regardless, the 14th Amendment does not specifically apply to the presidency. Biden, in the meantime, is boasting that Donald Trump cannot run for president because he's an insurrectionist. But is Biden's last-ditch vitriol is pure lunacy and is in plain sight. Recent revelations show that the FBI was in the crowd of protesters that day, manipulating behavior of not only the Capitol Police, but the citizens themselves, some of them who have now are incarcerated. Putting aside the lunacy of the left, liberal, bad behavior, the world now questions the merits of democracy and its value as a governing structure. Tucker Carlson said it beautifully the other night. The United States has lost its ability to lecture anyone, anywhere in the world about democracy. And you know what? I regret it, Michael. He's correct.
Yeah, I think he is correct. He, I've joined that Tucker Carlson, tuckercarlson.com or whatever it is. And I've watched some great interviews that he's done. Just on a side note, watch the one with John Daly, the golfer. That is such an awesome video. I laughed. The John Daly is the coolest guy that I have ever known. He's from Arkansas, by the way.
Oh, is he?
He's from Arkansas. But he's a great golfer, one of the greatest ever. And he reminded me of the old days, Kenny Stabler, the ones, Joe Montana, who would go out the night before the Super Bowl and get drunk and then come in and beat everybody the next day because they had such raw talent. just unbelievably talented, that there was nothing you could do to stop them. Even a hangover wouldn't stop those guys.
Well, I'll tell you, on general point for year end, I'll just say that this country is too strong, too powerful. Unlike the Civil War and the rebellions of the 1700s, we're not going to see an insurrection here because we've got too many safety measures in place to protect this nation. Hey, speaking briefly, keep your eye on Vivek Ramaswamy. He really let Nikki Haley know that the millions of dollars she's made recently through speaking engagements and other political stuff is inconsistent with how he made his money as a true entrepreneur in business, whether you like him or not.
Exactly.
And also, I keep your eye on a Mr. Patrick Morrissey. He's the Attorney General over in West Virginia. He's going to be running for governor in West Virginia. Jim Justice term limited out, so he's running for U.S. Senate, I think, to take Joe Manchin's seat.
Right.
But keep your eye on this Attorney General Patrick Morrissey. I think he will Republicanize the Senate, and the door is swinging back the other ways. I'm looking forward to an exciting 2024, not without a few skirmishes in the foreground that we've got to get through. But, Michael, I think we're going to witness the recapture of a democracy.
That would be beautiful. And I think next year obviously is the time to do it. Because why? Well, if we don't do it next year, with all of the things, all the moves you see being made from the Colorado Supreme Court with a bunch of hacks that are trying to take away a person's right to vote for someone, what is worse? Do you know what's happening? It's interesting to me, but as I watch these people, and not just the Colorado Supreme Court, but let's just go to any of these Democratic operatives and even people in the media, they are actually becoming what they claim Donald Trump is.
That's correct.
They're becoming that person, that group that they are trying to, that they claim Donald Trump is, this, he is that, and they are becoming that.
They are accusing him of everything they are.
Which goes to show you something Rush Limbaugh used to always say. Whatever the Democrats are accusing Republicans of doing, they're the ones that are actually doing it.
Exactly. Hey, look at, he's a bad politician. What politician gives up 100% of his salary and turns it back to the citizens in various forms?
He doesn't need the money.
What's that?
He doesn't need the money.
Well, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
If he doesn't need the money, you can't own the guy.
Joe needs the money.
You have to like him. It means you can't own him.
Joe needs the money. And he also needs extra money because he's got a beach house. He's got a nice house over in, wherever it is. I don't know. Delaware.
He also needs asylum and some sanctuary for prosecution.
He might need asylum. That's exactly right. So, I don't know. But I do think people are catching on pretty quick, Gene. And I do believe people are realizing now that this is a dangerous precedent that a lot of these, like judges in Colorado are doing. These are dangerous times where people have thrown away common sense and thrown away rule of law because they all have been convinced that Donald Trump is a bigger threat to democracy than all of the things that they're going to do to try to keep him from getting reelected.
He's a bigger threat to a cabal and a dysfunction and a shortcoming of our democracy, which they want to preserve for their own enrichment at your expense and mine. If I had a Christmas gift I could ask for, Michael, it would be that you and I enjoy the notion or the fact that everyone in screenshot or earshot of our conversation right now bring 20, 30 people each into the polls this coming November 2024 and get them to right the ship of the wrongs that we've allowed. We took democracy for granted, didn't we?
Yeah.
We trusted that the people we put in there were going to do the right thing.
Exactly.
No, They created their own cabal and their own kingdom. And it's on us to make sure that the people working for us that we voted in get in there and right this ship. And it starts at the top. We need to do a complete wipeout of 4 to 6 levels down of bureaucracy. And Donald Trump's the guy to do it. Merry Christmas, Michael. Well wishes to Ted and to all of the Pine Belt.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and Maureen. Y'all have a great one. We'll see you next week.
Best to you, buddy.